Mr. Collins, have a second.
Second.
Start the vote with Mr. Early.
Yes.
Mr. Bryant.
Yes.
Mr. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. Horton.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, I'm going to ask everybody to certify, whereas the Carroll County Board of Supervisors convened a closed session this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote, and on the motion to close the meeting in accordance with the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, whereas Section 2.2-3711D, of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the Board of Supervisors that such closed session was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. We went under closed session under Section 2.2-3711D, A1 and A8. Now therefore be it resolved that the Carroll County Board of Supervisors hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act were heard, discussed, or considered in a closed session which this certification applies. And only such business matters as were identified in the motion by which this closed session was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting to which this certification applies. I'll ask each board member to certify. Start with Mr. Early.
I so certify.
Mr. Bryant.
I so certify.
Mr. Horton.
I so certify.
Mr. Collins.
I so certify.
Mr. Moore.
I so certify.
And I so certify. Next on the agenda is invocation and pledge. I'll ask Mr. Collins if he'll lead us, please.
Father, thank you for this opportunity to be in this place again to discuss and deal with the business of the county, and Father, to honor some folks who are hardworking volunteers this evening. We just pray that you give us wisdom and guidance and leadership in all the decisions that are made. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next on the agenda, I would like to recognize the Cana Volunteer Fire Department for 60 years of service. If you'll come forward, I'll have Mr. Collins and Mr. Phelps present the award, please.
Let's go. Y'all just stand right up here anywhere. Jason, I'll let you have this one to give to him after I read a letter here. It says, honoring 60 years of service, Cana Volunteer Fire Department. Let me get my glasses so I can read it. For 6 decades, the Cana Volunteer Fire Department has stood as a symbol of courage, sacrifice, and service to our community. To the men and women who have served and volunteered over these 60 years, thank you. Thank you for the hard work. Thank you for doing what others can't or won't. Thank you for looking after our community. From answering late-night calls in the cold and the rain to standing on the front lines of fires and emergencies to serving as first responders when seconds matter. You've carried a burden that most will never understand. You've shown us what true service looks like. Your commitment has protected lives, preserved homes, and given comfort to families in their most difficult hours. Each alarm answered, each emergency faced, and each sacrifice made has written a chapter in the proud history of this department. As we reflect on this milestone, we recognize your legacy is not only in the fire's fought, the emergencies answered, but in the spirit of community that you embody. You've given your time, your strength, and sometimes your safety to ensure the well-being of others. This is service at its highest calling. There's a quote, history doesn't remember the critics, it remembers the one who withstood criticism to accomplish something great. For 60 years, you've accomplished something truly great. You've withstood challenges, persevered through trials, built a legacy of honor and strength that will never be forgotten. On behalf of the citizens of Cana, the Fancy Gap District, and Carroll County, thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice, your courage, your unwavering dedication. You're more than firefighters. You're protectors, neighbors, and heroes. Give this to Josh. Absolutely. Thank you for your service.
Any of y'all want to say anything?
He's gonna get some
Thank you.
pictures, so
Appreciate
y'all
you.
don't move.
Everything. Thank
Jason, just stand on that
Yeah,
end.
appreciate it.
Pictures.
Yes,
you. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you, man.
we are gonna get a picture, yes.
Appreciate you. Thank y'all. Yes, yeah, thank
I'm
you.
gonna get a picture with them, and then you can get one without me. They might want to light a fire or something.
You go. You know, help me get it.
Gotta squeeze in, guys. Thank y'all again for your service, everything you do. Let's give them another hand. Be safe.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, community conversations, raft. If you want to come up to the podium, please. Thank you.
Hello, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Dr. Amanda Hall at University of Virginia, joint project with University of Virginia's College at Wise. We're working with Carroll County on the RAFT, the Resilience Adaptability Feasibility Tool. We just finished phase 2, and so we wanted to give you a data update and give you a little info on next steps. So my colleague, Ian Baxter, I hope, is on the call. Ian, are you on?
Yeah, hey, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we can
Good to
hear
meet
you.
all. Thanks for having us.
I'll let you introduce yourself, Ian.
Yeah, well, thanks to the members of the board and staff in Carroll County for allowing us the opportunity to speak. My name is Ian Baxter. I work at UVA in Charlottesville. I'm really grateful to be working on this project with Amanda and the folks at UVA Wise.
Okay, so Ian, it's going to start with you. I've got the slides, so we'll go ahead and let you get us started.
Great, so you can go to the next one.
I'm going to try. No, my clicker. Sorry. Yeah, but it's not clicking. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's not clicking. I don't have control. Thank you, Mike. Yeah. All right. I think
All right.
we're good.
Great. Well, thanks again. And I do, again, really appreciate the opportunity to present virtually. I know it's a little bit of a headache, and I wish I could be there, but I will be there in a few weeks for some of our upcoming conversations. So I want to talk a little bit about what the RAFT is. Like Amanda said, it's the Resilience Adaptation and Feasibility Tool. It's basically a 3-university partnership, UVA, Virginia Tech, and Old Dominion University, that basically looks to find gaps in localities' resilience needs. I'll get into a little bit about what we mean when we say resilience. Develop some community-driven strategies with community members and locality staff. We provide it at no cost to the locality, and it's been going for about around 10 years. Go to the next slide.
Am I just user error? I'm like, am I not? I don't. Okay.
Is it working?
Yeah, Ian can't see us.
Okay, sorry. Here's just a quick overview of where the RAFT's been. You'll notice it's primarily been in the eastern part of the state, so all across the Northern Neck, Middle Peninsula, Eastern Shore. And right now, our first sort of foray into the southwestern part of the state, we're working with both Carroll and Dickinson. We're also working with a few tribes in the eastern part of the state and have in the past worked with the cities of Hopewell and Petersburg too. This is what we mean when we say resilience. So community resilience, as it's sort of the RAFT sees it, is this combination of economic, environmental, and social resilience. And so, this chart, I think, does a good job illustrating that there are a lot of programs that focus on your environmental resilience, how resilient you are to storms or wildfires or earthquakes or whatever. Obviously, economic resilience, what would happen if a major industry left? If you're going into a place that had that happen, how are you resilient to the next potential shock? But social resilience, really thinking about quality of life, thinking about how folks, actually live in a community. We try and sort of address all three of those things in our work. So this really happens through three steps in one process. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about the first step, which is involving a scorecard, as well as some community conversations, which Amanda will talk about. But really, it involves also involving the community at a series of workshops to help them prioritize action items, and then really providing a year of implementation, primarily through support from different universities, state agencies, private and public foundations, to really basically get the ball rolling as far as resilience goes in a locality. So to sort of develop some positive momentum for the years to come. Go to the next slide.
I'm trying.
And so here's where we've been. I know this is a really wordy PowerPoint. Actually, this PowerPoint really, I think, is useful, hopefully useful you to review after this meeting. There's a lot more information on here that I'll go through tonight. But we sort of began in Carroll in April. We'd been scoring all throughout the winter and early spring. I'll talk a little bit about the scorecard in a moment, but Amanda will get into our community conversations, which we had 2 nights of, one in Hillsville, one in Cana, in early April. We are also potentially getting some more input. This says that September 3rd, but it might be actually next week. Amanda will talk a little bit about that too. And here's where we're going over the next sort of few months, is developing this opportunity list, which is sort of the laundry list of items that we sort of match to some of the gaps we found in the scorecard and from our community conversations. We're having 2 workshops in mid and late September, which Amanda will talk a little bit more about. But essentially, we'll have our identified priority items in late September, so this month, and then we'll start with this implementation team, which is a composition of community members that help us move these actions forward and really ensure that the community is having ownership over what we're doing. And we'll be looking to basically conduct this year-long implementation process up until the end of next September. So yeah, that's really exciting. I'm going to actually talk a little bit about the scorecard and kind of some major overviews from what we found, but to kind of orient you sort of to what we're talking about, the scorecard is comprised of 5 categories. So it looks at your sort of leadership, collaboration, internal policies to promote resilience. It also looks at a risk assessment, how often you're looking at some of the present environmental, social, and economic risks to the locality, and also how is your emergency management and disaster preparedness ready and able to address those risks as they pop up. We're looking at infrastructure resilience, so thinking about stormwater, critical infrastructure like roads, buildings, shelters, as well as natural and nature-based features to help mitigate some of those specifically environmental risks. We're also looking about how resilience is baked into some of the plans the county has, like the comprehensive plan, zoning ordinances, building codes, et cetera. And then also thinking about how we're engaging with the community. So how is this information being presented to residents? How is it promoting that, what I talked about, social resilience, quality of life, and also health and wellness? And actually, Amanda, I might just have you go all the way to the sort of scorecard overview slide, because I want to make sure that I'm not taking up everyone's time.
Okay.
But in this, you can kind of see we have outlined each of the categories. So feel free to look through these. There's a great deal of information in here, which is why we wanted to include it. But we also want to recognize that you have a busy agenda. And I'll just talk about some of the major sort of overview that we found. See it? Yeah, it is a lot of information. So this is the sort of key that we use to kind of measure or sort of assess like what this score means. And this is a percentage. So it's out of a total of 108 points, which is basically we're looking at what percent of those points the county achieved. And there are basically 3 tiers. Less than 50 is low, or what we consider to be low at this moment. Between 50 and 74 is moderate, and then anything above 75% is high resilience. I will say that almost all the localities that we've worked with on the raft are in the low to moderate resilience areas. And I also wanted to emphasize that this scoring is not a pass-fail or some kind of indictment of the county. It's a lot better thought of as sort of like a gaps assessment. And also, it's important to remember that this is our interpretation of resilience. And so this isn't to say that there isn't a lot of stuff already happening in Carroll. A lot of what we sort of identified is, could this be better coordinated? Could it be better publicized? Could there be more community involvement? Is the right person at the table, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's one way of looking at this that I think helps it kind of put it into perspective. So you can go to the next slide. Essentially, our major overviews is that the top sort of scoring categories for Carroll is 1 and 2, which means that there's a good deal of coordination already happening around resilience building, around emergency management. We looked at a lot of different documents while we did this scoring, from the emergency operations plan. We worked with the Planning District Commission to get access to the hazard mitigation plan and any of the associated mitigation items and notes. But seeing, our scoring, there's a lot of room for improvement in our view in the last 3 categories. And so basically what we're going to be doing is taking what we found within that scorecard and sort of putting it into this opportunity list so that the options available for the folks of the workshop can address some of these gaps that we found. So that's kind of the quick background about, the RAFT process, what we're hoping to accomplish, and the scoring, which I'm sure I'd be able to get you the actual scorecard if you want to take a look at it. It is a long document with a lot of citations, but we felt it was really important to be as thorough as we could be to really get a good, accurate representation of where Carroll's at right now. So thank you again, and I'll kick it over to Amanda.
All right, Ian, thank you. So as part of this process, it's twofold. You have the scorecard, where we dug into a whole lot of documents. And it's really, like Ian said, it's not pass-fail or punitive. It's where are the gaps, what's missing out of those documents. And so the second part of that is it's really important for us to listen to the community members. It's one thing to read a document and say, oh, we have this plan for resilience, or we have this emergency, response plan. But it's very different when you're talking to someone who lives in a flood zone, or who is a firefighter, or who works with a church or a nonprofit. And so in order to get a holistic view of resilience in Carroll County, that's what we did. We held community sessions, listening sessions. So we had a pretty large list of representation across the county. We sent those invites out. We had 40 RSVPs and 22 attendees over multiple sessions. You can kind of see on there, we were having trouble pulling up the entire document. It wouldn't show on the screen today. So I'm going to go over the findings, but I think that this is a public document. They'll be able to find this somewhere, I hope. But you can see at least the community sectors that were represented during those community conversation sessions. So we had a nice representation of folks interested in resilience in Carroll County. So we looked at resilience in 3 main buckets, like Ian said: economic resilience, environmental resilience, and social resilience. Now, resilience is a loaded word, and it means a lot of things to different people depending on the sector you're in. So when we look at resilience, start with economic. It's a community's ability to avoid, withstand, and recover from an economic shock. So that can be a major historical industry that's no more in an area. It could be loss of a workforce due to any number of factors. So when we asked folks about economic resilience or any of these buckets, we really looked at where the needs and risks, or what do they think are the needs and risks to economic resilience, and then what are some opportunities. So the same for, I'll quickly go over environmental and social, and then I'll tell you the summary findings, so we don't have to go through every single data point. Social resilience is a community's ability to withstand and recover from social stressors. So again, disasters, epidemics, but also loss of housing, loss of jobs, pandemics. And so when you look at social resilience, it's really social determinants of health. Do we have housing? Do we have transportation? Are we addressing the needs of all of our members of our population or our residents, including aging, youth, right? Folks of all abilities and no matter where they live in the county. And the goal is to provide spaces and systems that promote health, well-being, recreation, working together to overcome challenges, and having access to resources that enable communities to move forward and not become stagnant or die out altogether. When we talk about environmental resilience, we look at that as a community's ability to withstand the impacts of natural or man-made hazards. You know that very well here, the last year especially. So flooding, droughts, could be oil spills, train derailments, any sort of crises. And not only how can we help adapt, right, communicate inside and outside resources, move, but also not just recover, but thrive. How can our communities thrive after the fact and be prepared moving forward? So we got a lot of good information from folks. And in summary, we'll start with their indicators of resilient communities. And Carroll residents identified strengths of this county as a really strong sense of community. Residents' faith, family values, willingness to help others in times of crisis were strengths to what make Carroll County work when they need to work. Natural resources, scenic beauty, agricultural heritage of the area, and the dedication of schools and local organizations for the betterment of the county and the residents. When discussing needs, participants identified the need for better communication and coordination of emergency resources, locally, regionally, but also statewide. Enhanced cell service, Wi-Fi access, and infrastructure, especially water infrastructure countywide. Increased resilience efforts, specifically flash flooding mitigation. Increased emergency preparedness, public education, and outreach. Increased social opportunities for youth and elderly, and improved access to quality specialized health care. Many of those same issues were identified as risks to resilience, in addition to addiction and mental health challenges and stigmas, lack of infrastructure, geographic isolation, and lack of affordable housing and living wage jobs. Of primary concern was the aging population of Carroll County and the high number of residents having to go out of the area for higher paying employment and specialized health care. Although many challenges were discussed, participants also shared many opportunities and ideas for ways to improve resilience across the county. And no matter which section we were talking about, environmental, social, or economic, a lot of the same themes came up. Capitalize on the cultural, historical, and natural resources of the region by promoting ecotourism and agritourism. Increase local, regional, and statewide emergency response communication and coordination through education, training, and development of a community emergency response resilience committee that includes first responders, local officials, as well as community members. Increase workforce pathways and skills training in addition to creation of living wage employment opportunities to keep residents in Carroll County. Creation of youth development and/or volunteerism civic leadership programs, paid positions for emergency responders, and an increase in local recreational activities accessible to all ages and abilities. One thing that was really evident, so if you see the actual data document, you get all the numbers and percentages and graphs, but one thing that was really evident no matter who we talked to is that participants care deeply about their communities within Carroll County, and they're proud of their home and heritage, historical, current, and they want to see Carroll County thrive, and they want to stay in Carroll County. So I am always the first to say, We don't build roads. We can't fix these things. That's not what the raft does. We help identify them, but we are here for the next year, and the community, whoever shows up to those next couple of sessions, will have the opportunity to decide what projects we're here to work on over the next 12 months. And we have a network and a capacity to help do that, at least facilitate some of that. So, Ian, I will turn it back to you. I think if you had a couple things to say before I go over the dates. And I know
No, you can jump right in.
we got to get out of here for you guys. I know you have a packed agenda, but if folks are interested, the next step again is that 12-month implementation phase where we identify projects and work to complete them. So as Ian said, September 10th, which is next Wednesday, at the Farmers Market building at 5:00, I will hold another community input session. This is for anyone who has not been able to make any of the sessions thus far. It's open to any and all, and dinner will be provided. September 17th, here in this room at the Hillsville Government Center, Board of Supervisors room, from 5 to 6:30 is when we will have an information session. So again, the community gets to vote and pick projects. So we like to provide some information and some pros and cons and different knowledge base for folks to make informed decisions. September 26th from 9 to 2. That is the action workshop. We say that because you're picking action items that we're going to work on. So I know it's probably a work day and it's during the day, but if folks are interested, we'd love to have you there. That's where those projects will be decided, what we're moving forward with. And again, that's here in this room at the Hillsville Government Center Board of Supervisors space. And then October 8th from 5 to 6:30 will be what we call our first implementation team meeting. At that action workshop, folks will have the opportunity to self-select to be a member of the implementation team. That team is who will move forward and facilitate those projects with our team. So that first meeting will be here on October 8th. So we really hope everyone that's interested in shaping what this looks like. It's not something we do. We're here to help facilitate, but it really is about the locality and residents shaping what this looks like moving forward. Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for us?
We have Mr. Early.
I have a couple of comments and questions. Thank you for what
Yes.
you're doing and being here tonight to explain your
Thank you.
program.
Yeah.
I noticed that Planning for Resilience on your scorecard had the lowest score, 7 out of 20. That's a grade of 35, which is an F in all schools.
We're not grading grades. I know.
It's an F in all schools I went to.
That's right.
And part of that is comprehensive plan and zoning.
Yes.
And the things that make people want to stay here and live here and work here is the beauty, the culture. You mentioned those things. How important is it for a zoning to have zoning to preserve those beauties of our county and the things that make people want to stay here? Because this county does not have zoning.
Yeah, I'm going to pop up that specific section of the scorecard. This is just the summary. If I can get this. You got to just hit it right on the spot.
And while you're doing that,
Yes.
those things limit I think you said the negative impacts through planning and preparation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you could delve into that just a bit more.
Yeah. Ian, can you see the scorecard overview, planning for resilience? So it was this one, what you're talking about, the 7 out of 20? Okay.
I can talk. Yeah, and I can thank you again. I'm sorry I can't see you, but I appreciate the question and thanks again for having us. And as far as your question about zoning, what zoning does is it basically establishes sort of the guidelines for a piece of land, right? So that's sort of the obvious definition of zoning. But when we're thinking about how it affects resilience, part of that goes into you can see it on the third bullet. The subdivision ordinance, for example, can discourage floodway development, right? But with a fleshed out zoning code, there can be sort of more rules to perhaps discourage or prevent development in areas that are, flooded regularly, or otherwise vulnerable to natural hazards. So that's why that's included in the scorecard. Certainly, the comprehensive plan, we kind of feel like it's a good companion to all the actions you all have in your hazard mitigation plan, which has been conducted by the Planning District Commission. But thinking about how those are funded is important, and sort of all of that is kind of wrapped up in this section. So that's I would say my piece about the importance of zoning is that it can really, in many ways, sort of protect areas that perhaps are more dangerous for development, but it can also sort of, rather than you having to do that on a case by case basis, it kind of sets that guidelines. But I don't profess to be an expert in zoning, but that's sort of my understanding of why this is included in the scorecard.
And one of the things I'll add is that a lot of times with our scorecard, there's a minimum, right? Like I always use the example of like stormwater. We're working in Dickinson too, and you have the option of opting out of stormwater ordinances. Well, Dickinson opted out of stormwater ordinances. So I'm always talking to them like, we need a stormwater ordinance. So there's a minimum when it comes to zoning, planning, and ordinances. When we talk about resilience, sometimes it requires going above that minimum. When we look at the scorecard, we're looking at it from a resilience standpoint. So yes, the county's meeting the minimum or meeting the requirements in areas, but to be more resilient may have to go above what that minimum is, and then we can dig in. What are some of those specific ordinances or plans? One of the things you'll notice on there is it says, for example, Carroll identifies resilience actions in its hazard mitigation plan. Does that well. It's by the way, work with a lot of localities. That's a fantastic plan. You all have a very nice one, but does not budget for them in specifically for resilience actions. So there was a lot of areas on the scorecard where the idea is there, but it's not funded. And so if it's not funded, it's generally not happening. And we understand budget constraints. So our job is not one way or the other. It's just to identify where those gaps are, where there may be opportunities, bless you, that we could potentially look for funding for some of that. Resilience training is another one. It's offered, but it's hard. It's offered in Richmond or outside of DC. And when we're out here, in Southwest Virginia, it's not always easy to get staff or have capacity or funding to send a whole group of folks. So, some options are, could we maybe bring it here to us? Did that help?
I did, and I appreciate the explanation. And final thing I'll say is go Who's.
Yeah, well.
I like
yes.
that, Jody. Yeah.
Go,
I like it.
Yeah, you.
Go Who's.
Anyone else have any questions? Thank you, Ms. Hall.
Thank you so much. Well, I look forward to hopefully seeing y'all next week. But if not, you'll be seeing a lot of me this month. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is the public hearing for the solar siting agreement. I will open it up at 7:34. I do have a few speakers that signed up for the solar siting agreement. Ron Myers. Okay, no problem. Ralph Hall. Okay. Greg Alger.
I just got a few concerns. I didn't even know about this solar panel thing until last week. And I was just wanting to know what kind of benefits it is for Carroll County. Does, like, the electricity generated from there, does it benefit us here, or does it get shipped somewhere else? Like, I know some factories will shut down their plant for a day and sell their electricity back to the power company to use somewhere else. Is that solar energy going to be kept around here? What kind of negative effects? Everybody wants to throw out the positive. what's the negative? I don't know if that's information y'all have got. The solar company. But like I said, I've got a mother that lives on Senior Road. She hadn't even heard about it until today when I told her I was coming in here. I've got an aunt and uncle that lives right off of Coon Ridge Road. They had never heard of this. And I got a couple of friends that live up and down Airport Road. Same thing. It's like everybody's been kept in the dark again. And somebody told me it was in the Carroll News. I didn't see it. I'm not saying it wasn't there. I'm just saying I didn't see it. I didn't look at the Carroll News for a few weeks there. But it's almost like we was kept in the dark again on some things. And that's my question. I mean, how does it benefit Carroll County? That's my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ben Wilson.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and members of the board. My name is Ben Wilson. I'm the Director of Strategy and Engagement with a nonprofit based in Virginia called Energy Right. I was before you guys just a couple months ago inviting you to an event that we helped host in Wise County, actually at UVA College at Wise. But our organization is a group founded to bring a trusted conservative perspective to the renewable energy conversation at the local level in Virginia. We work to make sure, kind of first and foremost, that private property rights and the rights of the landowner are kept at the front of the conversation. A lot of times when localities are considering these projects, it becomes a discussion between the locality and the developer, which is key. But we also think it's pretty central and pretty important, not just to the county, but to the state of Virginia and to the country, that we make sure to elevate and protect private property rights to ensure that we're making sure we protect the cornerstone of the American economy. Solar, battery storage, renewable energy generally, is a great way to invest and generate revenue for a county. Our organization is an all-the-above energy type organization. We're here to support all new energy because we recognize that we currently sit in a precarious moment in the country, as you've heard probably talked about at the federal level, and at the state level, we import a lot of our energy. Virginia actually sits at the top of that list, importing almost 40% of our energy from neighboring states, which means it costs more for us as consumers, whether you're AEP or Dominion or otherwise, to use energy. By generating more energy at home and doing it here in Virginia and specifically, we position ourselves to be more secure, but also to support the consumers of energy, whether it be a business or a homeowner. But all in all today, I hope as you consider this, discuss this project, that you'll remember and keep the property owner front of mind, ensuring that in your decision you take steps to protect those property rights, as that is, like I said, what makes America exceptional is the fact that we have the capacity to be ingenuitive, to be entrepreneurs, and to invest not only for ourselves but for our communities. And so I appreciate this opportunity to speak this evening, and hope as you make your decision, you keep those rights in mind. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Delilah Brady. You want to speak? Okay. Would anyone from Samsung like to answer some of the questions that Mr. Alger had, please?
Hi again, everyone. I'm Chris Simmons, the development manager for Samsung, working on this Pine Branch Solar project. Mr. Algier, I was listening to some of your questions, and I can go ahead and answer a few of them now. Benefits for the county. So not only is it clean energy, it does create some local economic benefits. There will be local jobs created. It'll help people in the Commonwealth work on the project and maintain the project. And it's a quiet neighbor. It's kind of industrial growth without bringing in major industry. You don't have to bring in a lot of new infrastructure to support the growth. It's a quiet neighbor. It has very limited access throughout the year. Once this thing's actually constructed and up and running, there's not a whole lot of traffic throughout the day, so it doesn't bring major changes. Also, it's clean energy. It's 40 megawatts of clean power. That's enough to power over 7,000 residences. And as demand for power grows, like Mr. Wilson had said, we're looking for all of the above, and we do a lot of solar battery storage to help meet that rising demand. So the power is not going to any one specific place. We are interconnecting into a high voltage transmission line. And once our power hits that transmission line, the electrons are free flowing. It's going wherever that voltage is pushing it. So it's going to be spread throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia. It could go to the next substation down the line, or even further than that, or locally. As far as the negatives, I'm a solar developer. I don't think there's a whole lot, but I do say, I've been asked that question a lot. We always preach the positives of these projects and that, there's nothing wrong with them. They do take up space. But to that, they take up space, and they're a commercial development that can go back to being farmed. It is 40 years is a long time. It does take up a lot of land, but it can be removed and go right back into agricultural, livestock, whatever it was used for previously, very quickly in a very fast turnaround. And as far as family members not getting notified, I'll be glad to share my contact information with you. We did send out mailers. Sometimes that contact information isn't right and gets returned, so we did our best to reach out to everybody, I think, within a quarter mile of the project, half mile of the project. So we want to keep that conversation going and keep engaging the community. And if anybody engages the supervisors directly, please feel free to reach out to me.
And you did advertise and hold a community meeting at the senior center too.
Yes.
Okay.
So, nope, that's all I got. We are very excited about this project. We hope to continue working closely with the county, making sure it's a good fit in the community.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple questions for Chris.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
I think I've been to every one of your events so far, and it was well advertised. I'll give you credit for that. Have you ever had any instances where after the time period that it's gone back to farmland?
I do not have any projects that have been decommissioned, no.
Okay, so it's never happened yet, right?
No, I mean, we've engaged, we work all across the Midwest. It's heavy farm country, a lot of drain tile, a lot of, farm communities. So that is a big conversation that we have with different counties, different state authorities. And, we've worked with agronomists, and essentially what we've, learned is giving the ground a break, letting it lay fallow and just have native grasses growing under the panels for 40 years. The ground is healthy enough to go right back into agriculture once that facility is removed. It's pretty low impact. The racking itself is just steel pylons going in the ground, and then you have some access roads throughout the facility that'll be decommissioned as well.
That leads me perfectly into my next question about the growth beneath the panels.
Yes, sir.
Last time we spoke, you told me that you were going to have people doing that. Am I hearing now that it's going to be some type of livestock?
Well, we haven't made any kind of formal commitment to what we are open to. Grazing sheep, we think it's very interesting, and I think it is a benefit, but we're open to both. So that's a conversation we can continue having with Carroll County. We're open to sheep grazing, or having a commercial landscape or mowing company take care of the grass.
Okay, so that's a change from the last time I talked to you.
I mean, usually for when we're planning these projects, we'll account for a local maintenance company. We haven't gotten to that point yet. We have not hired an EPC to actually start doing full design on everything. So if sheep grazing is something we want to continue the conversation about, we definitely can.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll close the public hearing at 7:43. Anyone want to make a motion to anything, or just move on? Yes,
Mr. Dixon, I'd like to make a motion to table
table the agreement.
the agreement till next meeting.
Okay, have a motion to table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, start the voting with Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Bryant,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Thank you. Next on the agenda, citizens' time, public comment, offer citizens opportunity to address the board, either in person or in writing, to matters relevant to the responsibilities of the board. Addressing the board, please direct all comments to the board as a whole, refraining from addressing individual board members or employees of the board or county. Orderly conduct, personal attacks, as well as use of vulgar or profane insults will be prohibited. Scope of topics, comments should pertain to issues within the purview of the board and local government. And of course, it's a question and answer. It's not a public comments, not a question and answer session. We will not respond to the comments, and of course, everyone is allocated 3 minutes. And with that being said, we thank you for coming to Citizens Time. Welcome, Stephen Gregson first.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Steve Gregson. We own property over in the Fancy Gap area. Lived up here for 13 years full time. About 3.5 years ago, Mr. Chairman, the Board of Supervisors voted upon and passed a social media policy. Please allow me to go back when Jim Cornwell was our county attorney and Gary LaRue was our administrator. Mr. Cornwell delivered a media policy stating that all media announcements would only be released by the county administrator. The BOS voted unanimously passed, but it was never placed into the Code of Carroll nor employee handbook. Now, moving forward to the 3.5 years ago, the BOS voted on a motion to accept a social media policy. Our county administrator placed this into the employee handbook. I do not recall the motion specifying where the policy would be placed. Please keep in mind there is a vast difference between social media and traditional media by definition. Yet the current policy is titled social media. Recently, one of our Board of Supervisor members was accused of violating the social media policy by another member of the board. I have a copy of that demand. The oxymoron was this accused elected official does not do social media, but council made opinion that he violated the policy under media, quote unquote. He took the high road and voluntarily withdrew from 2 committees. My first recommendation is that the title of this policy and its contents to be changed to direct that all media falls under the heading to avoid any future confusion. On to the current matters. Mr. Chairman and Mr. Watson have been provided several complaints regarding a different Board of Supervisor member for the review of multiple violations, i.e. using his position and misuse of county property for personal use under the social media policy. His violations have colored, quote unquote, his personal pages. Keep in mind this individual was the reason why we have a social media policy in the first place. As a reminder, and for the record, he was given 3 choices to correct his transgressions. The only one he took was delete his BOS page, which he used his official title. By the way, he never unblocked the citizens to this date. Please also keep in mind, due to this continuing violation, he is not a first-time violator. Due to the court's 2 decisions in March of 24, these misuses and continual violations need to be addressed immediately and firmly. We are recommending that at a minimum he be removed from at least 2 committees, preferably all committees he currently sits on, along with the censorship and a $5,000 fine payable to the Library Literacy Fund. Additionally, we feel that the BOS or staff come up with a compliance class that each BOS member would take and affirm in writing that they have completed and are willing to follow the policy to ensure no further misuse, violations, or embarrassments to Carroll County and citizens. I know that Mr. Durbin has extremely happy that his alma mater beat the #1 ranked NCAA Division I college football team. Hopefully he'll be willing to help guide the board with this to accomplish some great outcomes that relate to this matter. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I have Miss Tony Hall.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Mr. Durbin, Mr. Watson. I wanted to come before you tonight to say thank you, for personally thank you for your time and your recent investigation and any actions that you took in regards to the issues brought forth concerning the usage of a Board of Supervisors official title in written letters and phone calls made for personal matters. I don't feel the need to go into that any further as it is a personnel issue, as I have stated previously, and we'll leave it at that. However, throughout the United States of America, we are seeing an increase in improper, unethical, and immoral, and in some cases illegal activities by our local governments. Virginia currently has several cases that it's facing, and these could have been prevented with the use of simple professionalism, common sense. Rules, regulations, codes, and laws are implemented for specific reasons. Professional conduct is always expected, and use of your title professionally should only be done professionally. Sorry about that, y'all. Use of your title should only be done in a professional manner. There should also be a solid and firm line drawn between your professional and your personal business, with no exceptions, none. It has been a prayer of mine for a couple of weeks, given the situation that took place, that the vandalism which occurred in Fancy Gap was not indirectly or directly a result of the actions taken by this particular board member. The thought of someone committing an act of vandalism, or illegal act in this case, is very disturbing to me. This is not what we are. We are not a community that promotes rogue behavior. Period. Vandalism is rogue behavior, and it should not be allowed by anyone. And lastly, I want to remind all of you of a couple of things. Number one, you hold a great responsibility in the representation of others of this community. You should never take that lightly. You hold the power that is given to you by the citizens, for the citizens, and never for your personal use. You took an oath of office. And as with any oath, that oath is a sacred and honorable promise, which should be upheld to the fullest extent with your fullest convictions. There is no middle ground, no gray area, and no lightheartedness in taking an oath. It is sacred. The citizens of Carroll County deserve this. You owe this to them. You owe this to them, to be professional, constantly professional. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make that motion.
Okay, have a motion, Mr. Collins. I'll have a second.
Second.
Start the voting, Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mr. Bryant,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Okay, next on the agenda is the consent calendar that you were presented. In your packet, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
So
Make the
moved.
motion.
Okay, have a motion. I have a second.
Second.
Thank you. Start the voting with Mr. Bryant,
Yes.
Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Okay, next on the agenda is invoices. I'll entertain a motion to approve invoices A and B together or separate. A is from August 20th, 2025, and B is September 2nd, 2025.
I make a motion, we approve A and B together.
Okay, have a motion to approve A and B together. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, start the voting with Mr. Horton,
Yes.
Mr. Bryant,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Okay, next on the agenda is new business. We have the personal property tax relief. I've got here. It's from the Commissioner of Revenue. So whereas the Personal Property Tax Relief Act of 1998, Virginia Code 58.1 has been substantially modified by enactment of Chapter 1 of the Acts of the Assembly 2004 Special Session 1 Senate Bill 5005 and the provisions of the Item 503 of Chapter 951 and of the 2005 Acts of the Assembly, the 2005 revisions to the 2004 06 Appropriations Act, hereinafter cited as the 2005 Appropriations Act. So what this is, personal use vehicles valued at $1,000 or less will be eligible for 100% tax relief. Personal use vehicles valued at $1,000 to $20,000 will be eligible for 16.97 tax relief, and personal use vehicles valued at $20,000 or more will receive 16.97 a tax relief on the first $20,000 in value. Do you have anything to add to that, Mr. Durbin? Good.
No, I think that the resolution is ready for adoption if the board is so inclined.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
To adopt it.
Motion, Mr. Horton, have a second.
Second.
Okay, start the vote with Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Horton?
Yes.
Mr. Early?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, next on the agenda, the Mount Rogers performance contract. Mr. Watson, if you want to go over this.
Sorry. Annually, we receive a policy from Mount Rogers Community Services. It's, in short, our CSB. It's a document that shows how they're going to operate and the things that they prepare for the county. It's not included in your packet. It's approximately 336 pages. It is an annual thing that we do, and I would recommend go ahead and accepting the fiscal year 26-27 community service performance contract.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the Mount Rogers performance contract.
I make a motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, start the voting with Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Horton?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Early?
Just one quick question. Were there any changes from previous contract?
This contract, and I'm going to look at Justin to kind of help with this a little bit. These contracts are pretty much governed by the state. Each one's a little different, but we don't see much from year to year.
Okay, I vote yes.
Okay, Mr. Moore?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, next on the agenda is the quarterly appropriations request that you received. Anyone have any questions on it? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we accept it.
So moved.
Have a motion by Mr. Moore. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, have a second with Mr. Collins. I'll start with Mr. Early.
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Horton?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, next on the agenda is the opioid settlement with manufacturers resolution. Mr. Durbin, I'll let you discuss these, if you will, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you said, you have the manufacturer's settlement approval resolution before you. The next resolution will be the resolution to approve the settlement with the Sacklers. As with the other settlements that the county has participated in and approved to date in the ongoing opioid litigation, these funds will, if approved, will flow to the county. There will be a portion that is a direct component to the county. There will be a portion that goes to the Commonwealth. There will be a portion that goes to the Virginia Opioid Abatement Authority for then to then be distributed to the localities for specific projects to mitigate the opioid abatement or the opioid crisis. As with almost all of the settlements, the use of these funds are restricted to addressing the opioid crisis. We can't use this for revenue replacement or other purposes. It has to be spent for opioid-related matters. The settlement for these manufacturers is $720 million nationwide. So Virginia would get a portion of that. The Carroll County would get a small percentage of that based on population, based on the formula for measuring impact of the opioid crisis. The Sackler settlement, if you'll recall, the board approved a previous settlement that would have been approximately $4.5 billion. That was appealed to the United States Supreme Court and overturned because it was structurally flawed, I'll say. This one, after the Supreme Court decision with this one, the parties reconvened, negotiated significantly higher contribution by the Sackler family, changed the structure to address the problems that were identified by the United States Supreme Court. So we do think that this will be one that can be approved and enforced. And this one would be in the amount of $6.5 billion, so a substantial increase in the settlement value. It's my understanding that this is separate from the Purdue settlement. The Sackler family owns Purdue Pharma, but there will be a separate bankruptcy settlement coming shortly as a component of this, or a separate component to this. But for tonight's purposes, in conferring with Opioid Litigation Council, it's their recommendation that the county approve both settlements, and I agree. I think this provides some good value to the county, and it's my understanding that this is widely viewed as a positive settlement. I think most localities are going to be approving this if they haven't already.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Durbin. I guess I can entertain a motion to approve them together. Does that be correct? Settlement.
I think you can take it up either way.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion if you want to do them separately, or if you want to approve the manufacturer's resolution and the direct Sackler settlement resolution together.
I make a motion we do them both together.
Okay. Have a motion we approve them both together. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. I'll start with Mr. Early.
Yes.
Mr. Bryant.
Yes.
Mr. Horton.
Yes.
Mr. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, that brings us on to old business. Does anyone have any old business they would like to discuss? Okay, if not, moving on, we'll go to board member comments. We'll start with you, Mr. Bryant.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion to provide funds in the amount of $35,000 to the Laurel Community Center contingent on them receiving their organizational status.
Okay, have a motion to give Laurel Community Center $35,000 contingent on them getting the what status?
Organizational status.
Okay, organizational
501c3 organizational status.
Okay. Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I'll start the vote with Mr. Moore.
Any discussion?
Oh, sorry.
I do have some.
Okay.
I just want to put it on record that money is allocated to the Laurel Rescue Squad, and because it's been dissolved to a community center. It's not like we're changing anything from the budget. We're just
moving
that over.
So, thank you, Mr. Moore. Okay, I'll start the voting with you.
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Horton?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Early?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Mr. Bryant?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I'd just like to thank the staff, and I thank the board for all their help and what they do, and appreciate everybody there. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. We'll go to you next, Mr. Horton.
I just want to say thank you again to the staff. Mr. Bryan, I appreciate you making that motion for the Laurel Community Center. I know there's been some issues there for those guys just trying to get started, so I look forward to trying to help them get some funding out there. But appreciate everything, and appreciate all the community for coming out tonight and all the discussion we've had. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Horton. Mr. Early?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion to advertise for a joint public hearing between the Carroll County Board of Supervisors and the Carroll County Planning Commission. The public hearing with the intent that the hearing be to discuss or to hear public comment about the utility scale energy generation facility siting agreement. And I'd like for that meeting to occur at our next, or the public hearing to occur at our next meeting, which is October 6th at 7 p.m.
Mr. Chairman, if I could clarify,
Yes,
that would be to adopt a solar siting and battery storage policy as part of the comp plan.
Okay, that's the purpose of the public hearing.
Yeah.
Okay. Have that motion by Mr. Early. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Collins. We'll start the vote with Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. Horton.
Yes.
Mr. Bryant.
Yes.
Mr. Early.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
And then finally, I want to thank everyone that was involved in the planning and execution of the county fair. I think it was another big success this year. A lot of hard work, many hours went into it, and I just want to thank everybody involved with that. Otherwise, I have no other comments.
Thank you, Mr. Early. Mr. Collins?
Mr. Chairman, I have one motion. I'd like to make the motion that we add Mr. Early to the Planning Commission.
Okay. Have a motion that we put Mr. Early on the Planning Commission. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. I'll start the vote with Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Horton?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Early?
I abstain.
And I vote yes. Thank you.
My only other comments, thank you to the emergency personnel. Jason, you may be the only one left. I don't know if anybody else is here or not, but the Cana Fire and Rescue, everybody that works to keep our communities safe. And, you know, one of the things that was mentioned in what was read was the unity that grows there. I see that family that grows together to protect people, and we appreciate that. We appreciate the hard work that you do. That's all I have, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you. Thank you, Mr. Collins. Mr. Moore?
Yeah, I did what most of the boards already said. Thank everybody for coming out. It's good to see a good crowd tonight, and a lot of people speak during citizens' time, and then through the public hearing. One thing I did have, it was I'd ask, I guess, to you, Mike, on the rafts, getting a lot of their data information. Did that come through your office, or?
The way that was done is they gathered information from our website, from local from regional organizations like maybe a hazard mitigation plan from our group or the PDC. They went through our website, other websites within the community, met with them and gave them information. And then also we had those 2 planning meetings. We had people that were invited from, we had the board, we had the Virginia Department of Health, DSS, emergency services. It was a total group of people coming together in order to provide the information. One of the things that you would need to, as we look at that raft, it's you know, it's hard when you're sitting there looking at the outcome and you get a 7 out of 20. You think, man, you're failing at something.
One of my biggest concerns is 22 citizens.
Oh,
in a
yes.
big county.
Yes.
For a big county, 22 citizens, and
we
and
invited.
then most of the meetings are farmers market, and then 3 here at the governmental building. You know, we have community center in Landsberg, we have them in Dougspur, we have a lot of other places.
It's not even 1% of the population.
Law, you know, community center.
And when we sent out for the invitations, the invitations were sent to twice that many people.
Right.
Okay. Things come up and those things, and that's the reason why we're having an additional
Yeah.
meeting. But the goal of the locations was we did one at the Cana Fire Department and we did one at Hillsville, so it was halfway between those 2 type areas. If you were to go out and just a concern, if you went out to the public and you said, okay, 30,000 citizens in Carroll County, you could all show up. You would never get anything accomplished because you'd have so many comments and those type of things. So we, as we went through the list, we had church participation.
Right.
So
I understand that, but 22 people in Dougspur, Law Fork could be different than 22 people in Cana too, you know, of the needs in that area.
Correct, but a lot of the information was a county-wide, and it didn't. The group will address later, you know, what exactly is Duxborough. But I understand what you're saying. Each community, we tried to invite people from every community, and I can send you a list of everybody that we invited and the ones that were able to participate. But the scorecard that was done was based off of mainly information we received, the comments that were made, as far as you go through the report, the comments that were made were concerns that a person might have about EMS services or healthcare. Like one of the things that were brought up in this meeting is there's no, you know, we really need rural dental service.
The Wi-Fi and the cell service, you know, and water infrastructure. I mean, yeah, them are needed in a lot of areas.
Yes, that's a lot of areas
there is,
as well.
But all right, thank you for that.
I agree with Mr. Moore, sir. As far as that goes, it's not even 1% of the population. So, I mean, you need to do. I can't really put anything into what they're telling me because it's not enough of the population. I mean, I'd like to see them do a survey or.
Yeah, I mean, when we had
with the citizens, I mean, they can send a survey out or do it by email or that's.
A couple of years ago when I was on the when I was a chair, we sent one out for RAC. You know, we got good response. You know, but
But that's,
That was the one thing that concerned me is, going through all that and, with the community support, I guess. But
sorry.
other than that, I want to thank you, Mike, and your staff for all y'all do. Thank EMS and fire department and law enforcement. And thank you, Mr. Durbin, for all you do to work for the board and busy times in the past and busy days ahead. But appreciate that. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Okay, one thing I will ask one of the members, since I can't make the motion from chair, we have the oldest ag building in the history, in the country, actually, behind Woodlawn School. It's the 100th anniversary this year of Future Farmers. We're hoping to get a committee together to do some studies and work and maybe apply for some grants to help bring the building back to where it needs to be. And I do have some volunteers on the committee. And if one of you would entertain a motion to form the committee for the Woodlawn Agriculture Building, it would consist of Delilah Brady, Ronald Newman, Gerald Goad, John Carpenter, and Mike Watson.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, start the vote with Mr. Moore.
And some discussion of that. I guess after that motion, could we make one to have Mike working forward to make sure that the roof gets taken care of before can it be added in there?
Yeah, they're getting estimates now.
Okay.
Whatever.
So we can do it then.
Okay.
All right. That's all I had.
All right, thank you, Mr. Moore. Start the vote with you.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Horton?
Yes.
Mr. Early?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, one other thing that I did receive from it's ACC accreditation services, not football. American College of Cardiology. Jason Phelps, still here. Director, Carroll County Fire and Rescue. Status EMS Partner and Care Recognition. Dear Jason Phelps, congratulations on behalf of ACC Accreditation Services. We are pleased to recognize Carroll County Fire and Rescue for their collaboration with the Twin County Regional Hospital on the Partner and Care Achievement. And enclosed, you'll find a certificate of your achievement. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to reduce cardiovascular disease, morbidity, and mortality. We hope you'll take every opportunity to support your achievement and proudly announce your partnership. Congratulations, Mr. Phelps, and Carroll County Fire and Rescue. That's a good step. Thank you. And the last thing I have, there is a public hearing next Tuesday, September 9th at 5:30 if you're interested. It's for the Carroll Wellness Center Community Development Block grant to assist with their restoration clinic. So if you would like some more information about what they're doing, just come over there next Tuesday, September 9th at 5:30. It's open to the public. They'll have questions, answer your questions, and so it'll be some good information. Other than that, I'd like to thank the staff and everyone coming to the meeting. We appreciate you coming out. I'm sorry for my voice. I've had a cold for about a week, so trying to get over it. Other than that, we'll go to Mr. Watson.
I don't have anything.
Thank you. Mr. Durbin?
Nothing this evening, Mr. Chairman.
All right. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Mr. Early?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Horton?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
And I vote yes.